What's up, family? It's a Sensitive Tip Off, episode 26, back again with a spicy potential NBA offseason, right? We're going to go down a list of 20 players, 20 players with our host, Humblestunna, and our co-host, Judd. And we got some amazing things that might happen at the end, at the beginning of this 2024 season, 2023 to 2024 season. So stay tuned. We're not giving no secrets. And let's get started. We go down a list of 20 players, and is it time for them to stay or leave? And what one or two teams that we have on the list for these players? So let's start with the top of the top. OG Anunoby from Toronto Raptors. Is he staying? Do you have him leaving? Is it time? What's going on?
Is it time? I don't think it's time for him to leave yet. As long as they're respecting him, giving him the brag, stay.
Respectful. I would say the same thing. The only two teams I have for him to go if they do move Fred VanVleet, or if they don't, I say the Mavs or Atlanta. Great piece, plays defense and make his own shot creator. Zion Williamson, the next person we have on this list. New Orleans
Pelicans. Is it time? I don't think so. They just gave him the bag. They have really good players. Let's see. You want to see how they play. You want to give them one healthy year. See how far they can go. Yeah. So it's not time yet. Maybe next year.
Definitely agree. With all the outside noise we're hearing from Zion, all the speculations and nonsense and the corn stars, we want to make sure that we get enough time to grow as a new NBA player that hasn't had his legs underneath him. DeAndre Ayton, a player that has now had his coach that he has the most interruptions with and combos and disruptions with the team with, is now gone. So do you have DeAndre Ayton staying, and is it time for him to leave?
Is it time?
I want to hear this one.
It's like, this one's tough. It's like, I think the team is nice, but it's just a matter of the money fit. And not only that, he wants the ball and touches. And with Bradley Beal there, Bradley Beal's unselfish, so that could go either way. But at the same time, they have to be able to afford a new squad. So because of that, it might have to be like, we can't afford this team anymore. Yeah, and I'm thinking about it now. I think that really might have been why they traded for Bradley Beal, because they didn't want to pay Ayton max money before. They told him to go out and get a max, and he did. But they just went out and traded for a super max contract. So with that being said, it's like, you don't value. They might have to move Ayton to get help. So
yeah, with that big three over there,
I can see him getting moved to Indiana. If they could get Turner and Buddy Hield, they're on their way.
I feel like a great team will also be OKC. A lot of people are not expecting or actually seeing the grind of what the OKC is bringing together with Chet, Shea, Josh Giddey. I feel like DeAndre Ayton could fill that spot of a center position they were missing out on a lot of times of this season this year. So that's what I have for them. Moving on, we have John Collins and Atlanta Hawks, a player that has been included in a lot of trade talks this season, and even a little bit more last year than anything. Is it time for him to leave? Do you have him staying? What's going on with him?
When I think about it, like, is it time? Like, I think it is.
Okay.
Man, he's been on that contract for a few years now. He's been up and down in that lineup minutes for a while now. The change of scenery might just be best for him. It's not even that he's a bad player, but him just going to a different team might just really be what's best for him. First start. So I think so. I could definitely see him going with a team like Dallas.
Okay.
Indiana wouldn't surprise me either. But watch out for Utah, because they actually have a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
A lot of draft picks. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I had the Mavs on my list as well. And this player could fill out a important piece on the bench, or even a starting position on a team that's not that good at the moment, but that could have the potential too. Let's go on to a player that has been thrown around as a great, wonderful shooter, maybe one of the top 5, maybe top 10 shooters in the league. I'll probably put top 5, but just not looking at stats right now. Buddy Hield.
Stats, top 5.
Yeah, top 5 most likely.
He's up there.
Yeah,
right behind Curry and Clay and them, bro. He hits a lot of threes.
Yeah, so is it time?
I think so. Like, Indiana is rebuilding right now through youth and Tyrese Halliburton. I love their young core. Trade him and get some draft picks.
Thanks.
Trade him to a winning organization that has a draft pick. Ask him where he wants to go. Like I think organizations need to start building good rapport with players so that people want to go there. So it's like it's not just all right. How was that city move? It's like all right. How does the organization move?
Yeah, that's a fact. And we talked about this team a lot when they made these trades with Sabonis and Tyrese.
Yeah, Howard.
We
trade both ways. Both teams won.
Exactly. But you saw Indiana didn't have enough, and I feel like they still need to improve. But yeah, Buddy Hield.
They didn't have enough. They're a young team. They're growing. A lot of teams when it comes to their young core, they could just keep playing together and they get better. That's what happened with Denver. We make 1-2 little trades later on. Jokic and Murray were drafted there. Keep playing together. Make one little trade later. That's it. Like Memphis too. Memphis draft picks.
Yeah, that's a fact.
One in the draft.
Yeah, two teams I have for Buddy Hield is the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. I feel like Timberwolves is definitely a spot where it's not as popular, but we have Cat coming back from his injury as well. They came back in the second half of the season. I want to say January he came back, I believe. I think he got injured in November or something like that. Or he came back in February, but I feel like he'd be a great addition over there with Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards growing over there, and Anthony Edwards going into that role. Next we have on.
I'm gonna keep it quick though for my two teams though is the Lakers and Phoenix.
Okay.
Like I said, give my son a chance to win a chip. The Lakers could simply trade that other draft pick that they have for Buddy Hield.
Yeah. And
then the Suns, if they trade Ayton, I'm looking at them to get Turner and Buddy Hield back in that trade. So
possible. James Harden, player option. Mr. Harden, where is it?
Time, bro? No.
You
just knocked out, bro. You better bring your ass back to Philly in better shape and kill. You improved this year. You had a bounce back year, like I predicted. But in the playoffs, you were bouncing off a wall. It was like one game you're lit, then you're not. Then you're lit, then you're not. And it's like when you're not, you lost, bro.
This dude is
bro. They clearly need you to win. Nobody's saying that you're a bad player. They just want to see you perform at the highest stage, bro, so that you can get the praise that you deserve, bro. And it's kind of annoying, but it's how the NBA works. But once you get that one chip, all the stuff you did before is all justified now, bro. Get it done, bro.
This dude is a wonderful basketball player. I haven't been as excited for him, but I feel like staying in Philly is the best option for him. He's in the postseason. We have seen him be a human version of a seesaw, up and down, and really just not someone I want to see move around anymore at this point. Stay with Philly, period. And that's what your best chances is. You're growing up and being at this age. So moving on, and it's time. It's time. Like we said before, it's time. That man is on the edge of being one of the top people on the free agents, or having that option of being traded easily off of a team he has loyalty to. Damian Lillard on the Portland Trail Blazers. Is it time for him? As we were seeing, and everybody's probably seeing, yeah, it's time.
Well, he's nowhere near free agency. That's one thing. He's definitely locked in under super contract until like 2026, 2027, something crazy like that. With that being said, whatever team that trades for him, bro, you have him for the rest of his prime. Bro, it's time. It's time. Like why did Phoenix go and get Bradley Beal yesterday?
It's time.
Because it's time.
Stop.
Because it's time. Like that. Thank you for making it sweet, bro. But with that being said, you're not winning shit in the West, bro. Nothing, bro. So yeah, bro, take your time to the East. I like Miami. I love Jimmy Butler. And I love Dame. So seeing them play together, and Bam Adebayo showed up every game for the playoffs, bro. Yeah. Extremely consistent. 20 points every game in the finals. Wonderful. I'm easily a third option on a championship team. Easily. So with that being said, Dame, you number one, bro. Jimmy could be the number two. Bam, number three. Let's punch that ticket. First time championship for all of you guys. That would be beautiful. NBA would be happy to see that. So
respectfully, if it's time, and I'm gonna give it
so many trips to see Miami games, bro. Spend a week in Miami, bro.
Over there, yeah. Take a trip.
Homestand. I'm spending a week in Miami with shorty.
Yeah. Moving on to Toronto Raptors. We got Fred Van Vliet. Okay, is it time for him to move? Is it time for him to move on with the Raptors? Is it time for their team to move on with him? What do you have him doing?
The team has no say in anything. He's an unrestricted free agent, so he could walk, I believe. So unless he's no, I'm pretty sure he's unrestricted free.
They could do a signing deal, I believe.
If he wants to, but I'm pretty sure he's unrestricted. That's if you're a restricted free agent. Though. If you're unrestricted, bro, you can just walk away, I believe. Yeah.
So,
but at the same time, even if he's unrestricted, though, you can still do a signing trade if you want to. Though.
Yeah.
Same time, yeah. Why would I do that if I could just walk away? I'm not gonna like if he wants to go to the Lakers have nothing to trade back for him except that draft pick. But we can use that draft pick to get some more help. So he can just walk over there, sign whatever deal, get his money, and now have a better chance to win. I definitely see him walking. Whether it's to the Lakers, whether it's to the Clippers, whether it's to Miami, whether it's to Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my top three, man. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. You just said it for me, man. Those top three spots. I mean, Miami doesn't. I think Boston will be the sneak peek for everybody. I feel like nobody's really expecting that. Just seeing what we've seen in the playoffs. Moving on. Chris Middleton on the Milwaukee Bucks. Is it time for him to move on? You have him staying?
It's time for you to run it back, bro.
Yeah, it's time for you running back after that injury.
Giannis next to you. You had a pretty solid. Well, it was pretty short playoffs, but it was pretty solid when you did. You had some nice performances. But yeah, bro, just running back.
Yeah, he's still getting his legs underneath him. I say running back for sure. Kristaps Porzingis. Washington Wizards.
I love Porzingis, bro. I really love him as a player. I was a Knicks fan starter, so you were the best thing that happened for Melo on the Knicks, bro. Thank you for your service. But with that being said, bro, I don't want you to end up like get your money. Get your money. You're at that middle stage in your career where you definitely want to get as much money as you can. You had a big injury. So whatever team is gonna pay you the most, it also gives you a chance to win, because I know you want to win, bro. You want to be involved in a winning organization, or you just want to be involved. So if Washington's gonna pay you the bag, take the bag. You know you'll be the number 1 or the number 2 option with Bradley Beal out of there now. So I don't think we'll see what happens. I think he's really gonna be interesting because he can impact a lot of teams. Any team he goes to.
He could.
He can also get a lot of money. Like he's at $36 million on the books for next year.
I'm gonna keep it short and simple with Chris Naps. I feel like with what we've seen in the past from him, I think consistency with Kyle Kuzma and himself, Chris Naps. I feel like them two on the Washington Wizards could establish that consistency of scoring, and taking the game a little bit more seriously and making it seem like they have all the weight on them, those two players, to make it seem more accountable for themselves to move on to different teams and impact more.
I think they did just trade for Chris Paul. And one thing that's an unpopular opinion, but I did read an article before that the Wizards they wanted Chris Paul in a trade rather than they wanted DeAndre Ayton. So that gives me an idea that they don't want to move him really. But if he really wants to leave, they're willing to move him. So that being said, they could really want Chris Paul can teach people how to win.
Yeah.
So he could definitely be the one to teach Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma how to run a franchise if they're about to go the route and pay those two the bag. So I can see that happen.
Yeah. I'll say stay though for sure. Nikola Vucevic on the Chicago Bulls. Is it time for him to move on, or are you waiting to see what the Bulls do entirely? Would they waiting on Lonzo Ball or seeing what Zach or DeMar wants to do?
So what's the case with him? He's a
player option as well. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's on a nice contract. I don't see him walking away just yet, because they weren't in the play-in tournament. In mind you, that's not where they wanted to be, but they started off the season slow. Lonzo has not been there. So, not only that, Caruso got hurt. He came back.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a personal thing, really. I don't think he has to leave, but he could go to an organization like Dallas, who has who has money, and also offers a potential to win. But at the same time, Dallas needs defense. He's not a defender.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I say stay. I mean, find out what Lonzo Ball. It's sad that Lonzo Ball controls this whole organization at this point to see where this team goes forward. Because if you move any piece too soon, it might hurt you at the end of the day. So, Chicago Bulls are on a tightrope. Period. They got to figure out what they want to do. I say stay. But if it goes anywhere, I say Mavs. and he could provide another scoring threat for Luka. And in center position, you get rid of Dwight Powell or any other centers. They got Jeremy Grant on the Portland Trailblazers. Just got moved over there. I think it's the second year over there or first year.
I'm pretty sure it was the first year.
First year. So he also has a player option at this moment.
Looked like he was there for 2 years. That's how good it was.
Yeah,
bro.
it definitely has.
He really had a great year over there.
Is it time? Is it time?
That all depends on Mr. Dame.
Okay. So
I think he's so smart for not taking not even the super, but the contract extension that they offered him, because it's now evident that Dame is waiting. We're waiting for his trade request. What teams does he want to go to? And I think he already said that it's Brooklyn and Miami. So with that being said, I think he's kind of figuring out where's the money land. I think he wants to get his money.
Yeah.
And win at the same time, because he left Detroit. So yeah.
And I'm gonna really say that, like, I'm gonna say stay. But I know he can impact so many teams. We have seen what he can do on the Detroit Pistons when they were a non-factor and still are non-factor. But the teams I feel like he can impact more is the Knicks and the Memphis Grizzlies, having that great.
I could see him on the Lakers. So easy. So easily. Next to LeBron and AD. Rui's coming off the bench. If he's there, Rui's coming off the bench, and that's no question. Like, he averaged 20.
I don't know. Well, that's
Jeremy Grant averaged 20.
Yeah, Jeremy. Yeah, he does average 20, but
shooting efficient. Man, he can shoot threes, and he dunks. He's athletic, and he sticks better defense than Rudy Hachimura.
Yeah.
And LeBron James at this point.
A little bit more developed.
That would make them so much more that would make their inside defense a whole lot more active.
Next, we have Kyrie Irving. Talk of the town, talk of the year, talk of the years. One of the best and greatest ball handlers we ever seen in the game of basketball. As a player option after getting moved to the Mavs after being on the Nets for, I believe, 3 years or 4 years. Yeah, was it time?
Is it time? I think so.
I think it's time. Sadly, like, we want to.
I don't think so though, honestly, because I feel like I feel like the best thing for him to do would honestly be to sign a short max deal with Dallas, 2-year, 1-year opt-out, player option, of course, and then see what the organization does as far as build around you and Luka, because there's no reason to sign a long-term deal if there's no evidence that they could build a winning organization around you two, and we know how you are.
Yeah.
Anytime you could go to Miami. Could go to the Lakers.
Yeah.
He is Kyrie Irving, so we'll see what happens.
The top choices for me. I really have nothing else to talk about with Kyrie. It's all what he wants to do and what he's willing to do. At this point, it's just, I don't think he's getting a long-term deal with anybody at this moment after what he did. Not saying what he did was bad or anything what he did was good. Or I don't have a problem. I personally don't have a problem with it, what he did in the past, but it's what it is. But everybody wants to see the Kyrie and the LeBron effect. We got Kyle Kuzma, player option, another player option after being on the Wizards since 2020. He had the player option after these 3 years. So is it time for him to move on?
I don't know about time to move on, but it's definitely time to opt out of the player option.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw the contract. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's at $12 million. I was shocked. So he's gonna re-sign. I think he's getting paid $36 million next year. He's gonna re-sign for something.
He could easily get 25 a year. Easily get 25.
He's gonna re-sign for something close to that. Like, honestly, Porzingis is getting 36. I don't know, bro. That being said, yeah, I can definitely see Utah with both of them. Not Utah, but with Washington with both of them on the roster next year.
Yeah, definitely.
He's definitely gonna get paid money. He might stay there just for the money aspect, because he's at that young stage too, where, like, he got a ring. Now it's time for me to get my money real quick, and then I can focus on winning again a little later.
Yeah, he's super young too, and he's growing. So
hasn't had any big injuries either. Like, Porzingis had a big injury, so
yeah, I would keep him over there. Like I was saying with Porzingis, let him build his consistency and find his game and all types of levels. We're playing with different players, and just keep it simple as that. We have another player, Brook Lopez. Was it time for him to move on in the Milwaukee Bucks, or okay, you let him stay after a great season? Yeah, great season. Defensive player candidate this year.
He reinvented himself. I'm astonished, bro. You continue to amaze me, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Definitely. On the Christian Wood on the Dallas Mavericks. What do you have him doing? Because he don't like 6-man. He don't like
he's out of there, bro.
Get him out
of there. It's a time that apparently Mavericks think it's time. So if that's what the case, they're gonna move him. The question is where. I'm honestly, He's good. I think he can help a lot of teams. The question is, I'm not sure if he's not a traditional 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's best at the 4. I think he's more like an AD, but he's not nowhere near defensively. But he can score a lot. Like, he's really a good scorer. He can rebound. He's a really good rebounder as well. He's not a terrible defender.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what team that's.
I say we were talking about this. I say Phoenix. Phoenix could use him a lot. Depending on what they do with their center. Just having that backup. He could play.
I don't know how much money he wants because.
If he's waiting for money, he might as well.
That's what I'm saying. Phoenix has absolutely no money.
Yeah, he got.
It's like if they do a trade. If they do a trade, if they, I don't know. I don't know why. I think I heard whatchamacallit, but the Phoenix Suns aren't interested in Ayton. Maybe it was an Ayton for Kyrie deal. Maybe they should look at an Ayton for Christian Wood, because if you can't afford to pay Ayton, Christian Wood would be a solid 4. You're still gonna need a center.
Solid 4, yeah.
Let me see if you can grab JaVale McGee too in that trade.
That could work. Could work. It's up and down. I mean, he could come off the bench for a great team, but he's not.
He doesn't want to come off the bench though. Yeah. He's good enough to be a starter, bro.
It's hard to say at this moment. I really have to sit down and look at a bunch of teams and what they line up like. You really can't say off the top of your head, really. And I went through just briefly what teams he go to. I still can't really find it, but let's move on. He's a great talent. Christian Wood's a great talent anyway. Just to respect what he got going on over there, but I understand he don't want to be on the bench. Anthony Simons. Is it time for him to move on? Or are we waiting? Is he waiting to see what Dame does? He's gonna take over that spot.
It's time for Dame to ask for that trade request.
Okay.
Because Shaedon Sharpe is really good, and Anthony Simons is really good too.
Yeah.
He might be better than we might think he's better than he really is right now. But at the same time, he's really good. Like there were stints where it's like Dame was hurt or he's out of the game, and I'm like, well, Dame was on the bench. But I'm like, what's Anthony? I'm like, oh, it's like that.
Bugging.
And he's taller. I'm asking you, he's more athletic than Dame. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Comes higher.
I don't see Dame dunk like that no more.
Dame dunks.
Yeah,
sure,
but
not like Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is wild. Like him and Shaedon Sharpe, they can have a nice little shooting, athletic vibe going on in Portland for the future, bro. Honestly, and they have the number 3 pick. Yo, Dame. Ask for that trade, bro.
Yeah.
Let's on to the next one. I don't think they should move Anthony Simons.
Yeah,
Sharp, and two more nice draft pieces, bro. Like
stay.
Such a beautiful team for the future.
They
just need to make the right Dame trade.
Oh yeah, that's a big puzzle, man. That's what everybody waiting for, even us. Even Anthony. I'm sorry. I know Kyle Lowry's on the player option now because he just got there, over the free agency. So
3-year, $90 million. So this is the last year.
Which is solid for him at this age. I mean,
great.
3 year, $90 million? 30.
Yeah, $30 million a year. At first, I thought he was completely overpaid, but the first year when they were the number 1 seed, and then you've seen what they've been doing in the playoffs ever since. So I was like, all right, Kyle Lowry, and he always shows up in the playoffs. Bro.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He could be a great backup for a lot of teams.
He's a great backup for Miami. Honestly, I'm keeping him. I'm keeping him. You already got the deal. It depends, like, unless you're gonna move him for some piece that you could use in it. Unless you're gonna move him to get Damian Lillard.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. Or Kyrie, that's the only reason why you do that.
No, I'm not moving him just like that.
I fully agree. Let us know down in the comments if y'all agree with some of these players. And we're gonna have some more videos coming out with you guys. And like we said, we got something special coming up soon. This is the one and only Humble Stunner with our co-host Judd. And see y'all next time on episode 27. This is 26. So see y'all. Peace out.